Welcome back, and today is primary day here in New York. With the general election just 5 months away, many see their social media feeds filled with political ads at this point. But recently, Facebook announced it will let users turn off those ads. So we're wondering this morning, what impact might that have? Here with more this morning, we have tech consultant and host of the podcast Think About This, Shelly Palmer. Shelly, always good to see you, even from afar.
Nice to see you too.
So Shelly, let's talk about this, because these Facebook ads are something we kind of always talk about. But now, as the election is getting closer and the ability to turn these ads off, what impact might this have?
Well, it's interesting, Carrie. When you think about turning off ads, who's going to actually turn them off? We're talking about advertising that is specifically sponsored by political organizations or issue-oriented organizations, the ones that would be identified. This ad paid for blank, blank, by blank, blank. So who's going to turn them off? Well, people who hate political advertising will turn them off, but most people don't like that many ads, so they'll turn them off. They're not paying attention anyway. The people who love politics aren't going to want to be left out in the cold, because then they won't be in the know. They won't have seen, so they're not likely to turn them off. And people in the middle who are believing that they're ambivalent won't turn them off because they're not thinking about it and they don't configure their stuff anyway. So I'm not sure this is anything more than window dressing. Importantly, this does nothing about truth in the advertising. This simply gives you, the consumer, the ability to take paid political advertising and turn it on or off. Twitter went a different way. Twitter said we're just not going to accept political advertising at all.
Yeah.
But the problem isn't always advertising, Carrie. The politicians themselves put messages out that Facebook won't touch, and Twitter won't touch either. So we're talking about paid advertising, and how much of that has an impact on the way you think or the way you vote? It's an interesting question, but at least it's a step that Facebook took to give you more control over your politics.
Right. It's interesting, too, because on the one hand, Facebook is removing these, or giving the option to remove these political ads from your feed. But on the other hand, they're doing a real push to get out the vote. So they're not shying away from politics altogether.
They never have. They made a pledge to register 4 million voters in time for the election. They are really trying as hard as they can to give people a voice. And if you ask Facebook, they'll tell you that in local elections, in markets that are smaller local markets as opposed to the big national elections, Facebook is an invaluable tool for politicians on both sides to get their voice out and to reach their constituents. We always see it as on the big issues, and we're always looking at it as, is this right, is this wrong, is this true, is this false? But remember that Facebook is and all social media, gigantic way that people communicate now. And so those ads on that platform, it's meaningful, and they know that, and they're trying to be thoughtful about it. They are making mistakes. They've made mistakes. I'm not giving them a pass, but to be fair, it's a harder problem than people give it credit for.
In a separate and sort of related incident, let's talk quickly about what happened over the weekend. President Trump's rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. There were a number of empty seats, and then there was this talk that teens on TikTok across the world actually manipulated the system. Was this just a harmless prank, or do you think that we're going to see more manipulation when it comes to online voting, absentee ballots, things like that in the future?
So manipulation is an interesting word, Carrie. I'm not going to use that word. I'm going to tell you that this is the network effect. And there was a woman named Mary Jo Laup in Fort Dodge, Indiana, who made a video and put it on TikTok, and it's compelling, and she is a very educated woman who became more educated. She made a plea. She said, hey, and she described her idea. People picked up on it, and according to the statistics, that might have contributed. It also could be the fact that the people in Tulsa are smarter than the average bear. They realize that sitting next to one another while COVID is spiking isn't a great idea. So I don't know how much you can attribute to the virality of this message and this idea that people are calling up reserving tickets. It was a free event you could just walk up to and go into. So but don't ever discount the network effect in social. You as a normal person, your voice matters because it can be amplified very quickly by a lot of people. That was clear.
Shelly Palmer, always good to see you. Thanks so much.